There, my name is Kendrick, and today I get to have Ian back. So, Ian, welcome back, man.
What's up, bro? What's going on?
Yeah, good to see you again. Ian, what is your full type?
My type. All right. So I am tester, SEFE, play, consume, sleep, blast.
All right, so you are a jumper ESTP,
Yes, sir.
and your social type?
I am social type number two.
All right, sweet man. So,
Yeah.
uh, I want to focus actually today just talking to you about your blast last, your NF blast last, and also your social type. So that's kind of like the stuff that I want to discuss with you about. So it's been a long time since we our first interview, like ages ago, like was it 4 years ago or something?
It's
Um,
been a while, man. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm pretty sure a lot of things have changed for you.
It's a lot. Yeah, man. It's been cool. It's been good processing the type. We gotta go back to that time that time when we when we did my video. Um it's been a minute and just really trying to, because when I got typed, thought I was an INTJ, right? And I just remember trying to like reconcile that, and I was still in that reconciling period. But it's been it's been a ride. It's been that acceptance piece of it, just testing it out, and I fully embrace it now. So whatever you got, let's talk about it, man. Let's
All
go.
right, sweet man.
Let's go.
Let's go with your NF blast last. How's that been going for you since we, did our first interview? Have you worked on it at all? Like, have you did any practice on that getting started?
So 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 what do you think the answer is for Blast Last?
If I'm going to be
No,
honest,
I have
still
not
not,
worked on it. No,
still not great, but
let's a skid with Blast Blast. No, so yeah, Blast is hard, man. But I've actually realized that if you look at my blast, it's NF Blast. I'm FE Savior, but I'm also FE Last. So if it's something pertaining to like an FE realm, I'm okay with blasting. I can do the blast, especially when it comes to me like trying to talk to like, inspire people, motivate people, just help them think, whatever they're doing, all things are possible, all that type of stuff. I can blast, but if it's something more related to like something ST or not necessarily into that FE realm, it gets a lot harder to try to like to really go in on it. Or something that's really related to like the NI piece of narrowing down. Because not narrowing down, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can say narrowing down because the I can do it in my mind, but the actual like act of following through, like really closing all options and just going in is the hardest piece. So if you ask me if I worked on it in any way, it's a mindset over matter thing of just getting started. When I look at blasters, a lot of times it's just let's just get started. We can conclude, but doesn't mean that you have to like stop there. Sometimes the answer there's pieces, and this is more of an NT sleep thing. There's multiple pieces of an answer, and some of those pieces are the same no matter what the answer is. So you move, and then you still have that ability to change or adjust if you need to. So just getting over that, everything having to be perfect before I start. That's the biggest part that I've learned. I've kind of learned that recently, more so than anything else.
all right, that's cool. It makes sense that your blast would be more like that, you know, FE kind of area, not like the
Yeah,
S. It makes perfect sense. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Okay, dude, let's jump in for the stuff that that is huge right now in the community, the social types.
Uh-huh.
That's like the thing nowadays. Uh, that type as a social number two. That's a your type is actually a straight flush, perfect fit. Because your play consume first, right? And play activates friends, and consume activates number two, the responsibility and generalist coin, and
Yeah.
then your sleep and your blast are your demons, which is also the demon for your social type, which is flex and specialization. So you got a straight flush here in terms of your social type.
I don't know if that's a good thing though, bro.
Yeah, there's some pros and cons, obviously. So how do you feel about that, man? Like having the straight flush, for your social type and your OPS code.
It's cool in a sense that it made it easier to kind of identify. And I think when you look at the way David, the way they've kind of what it was even back when I got typed, a lot of what we ascribe as now the social types was part of being like, FE, friends was FE,
Right.
and being OE is like the number two piece of just having a bunch of things to do. So it's good to be able to see that and identify that. So when I went through the videos and I got to number two, like that one hit me. That one hit me harder than the being my type hit me, right? The type piece was cool, but the number two, it felt like she was really Shan was calling me out. So so yeah, just that reaction alone, just to let me know that's what I was. And I think for when they describe work, a lot of times it's like TE work. I
Yeah.
think as a FE and number two, for us, work isn't always like a job. You got to think like, and I hate making this comparison, bro, but you got to think like, and like that, like a mom role, they do a lot of things that isn't necessarily uh work. It's like a traditional FE thing, but it's like for me, being my religious organization, like really doing a lot there, doing a lot for the community, just picking up and just helping people. Like a lot of those things, kind of, I look at that as being a number two. Just if nobody's going to raise their hand and do it, I feel obligated to do it. Even if I don't want to do it, there's something in me that kind of pulls me to want to do it. So yeah, I kind of see all of that into fitting into the two piece.
Yeah. Yeah. I can relate. I'm number two like you, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it was kind of surprising to me when they said that when they were like you were trying to see four and two, and I'm like, no, I think Kendrick's is two. Kendrick has a bunch of scams. He got all his scams lined up, lined up. Right. I'm playing into the scam right now, right? So it's just like you got these it's like a friends. Oh, can I say something? Let me say something,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know these interviews that you're having, like these second time around videos,
Yeah.
are fire, man. Perfect. They're great. It's almost like a friends type of feeling now because
Yeah.
you kind of know these people,
Yeah.
you've had experiences, you're catching up. So it's hitting me right. It's hitting me right in the friends in the fields, man. It's
You
it's
know,
good.
you know what I like about the second interviews?
So
Okay, I'm not gonna swear, but I can talk smack with the people I'm interviewing now. Because like when I interviewed them for the first time, I don't know them either. So I'm
mhm.
just chatting with them and stuff. The second time around, like you said, I'm already familiar with them, and
Yeah,
then I can take out my double masculine and SF sleep. I'm gonna punch you in the
yeah,
face, and I'm not, and
yeah.
I don't care anymore. I'm gonna talk so much smack to you,
Right,
and it's a little bit different. Like the vibe is different, right? So I
right,
like,
right, right.
yeah,
Yeah. So keep it up. So let me ask you this then. So when we were talking in my first video, and you were talking about the slavery thing, that wasn't smack.
oh, that was just my anti like what do they call it?
You
Brainstorming. I know that kind of blew up out of proportion. Like,
oh my God. That was great. That was great. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, what are you gonna do?" And I'm like, bro, it's like he doesn't mean anything. It wasn't like meant to be taken in like a harmful fashion. You know what I mean? So you just kind of blew over it though. It was like you heard about it, and you was like, whatever.
yeah, I mean, I was like, what? I mean, I wasn't trying to be racist or anything. I'm also a minority, so it's like I'm just like
Yeah.
brainstorming what happened. But I get it. Like, um, yeah, I have some opinion about it, which I can tell you, off camera. But
All right. All right.
but but I,
Fair
I thought
enough,
I
man.
thought it was a lot of like ridiculousness when that happened. I was like, what?
Yeah.
First of all, when people like when that whole thing happened, I was like, you calling me out now? This was like, X amount of years since we had this talk. Why are you just bringing it up? It was like really a big problem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, whatever. Um, so anyways, man, back to your social type. So
Mhm.
your blast last and your specialization last. That means you can't like focus on one thing to like get really good at. But you're working as a freaking accountant, which is like really weird because your type has like, you would think accounting is more like SI, right? You know.
It's definitely SI, bro.
So I'm like,
It's
how did you
definitely SI.
how did you end up doing this? Like the most like
It's
complete opposite of like what your type would be doing.
I got scammed, man. It was probably some number two up there telling me about some number two telling me about I can be whatever I want. And it was he's like, if you like math, you like money.
Yeah.
So that's not what accounting really is. Accounting is definitely SINT, right? ST blast, ST sleep. And so I got pulled into it. It was like, and I got locked into, I have masculine NT sleep. So it's like I got pulled into that, and that's what I was going to do. Never thought about it again. And, just went through the school and everything, and then woke up one day and was like, okay, I'm doing it. Then once I kind of got what I was doing, I kind of hit this wall with like that's it. Like once I got it, I was like, that's it. And then it was like, okay, now I have to pivot. Because I felt like, I did this, I've earned this degree, I put all this work in. So what do I do with this? And it took a while for me to kind of like last break out of it. But I actually went into different fields with accounting. And now I have when we talked in 2020, I had just started back at the place I was working when I was a intern, and now I'm a partner there. So I
Oh,
officially became like
congrats,
a
man.
partner, and I'm an owner. So it's less SI. It's a lot of that I can kind of either put on other people, or could just totally avoid it and do what I want. Do more oversight consulting type stuff.
Oh, I see. Now you can finally be in a number two, you
I
know.
can be, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what about your NI, man? Like, see, now that you're a partner, you have to do more like long-term planning for the company, right? Like how's that playing into
So I have a very interesting dynamic there because I have a double masculine number one TESI, like an ESTJ double masculine sleep last. And he has control of everything. So he does a lot of that. I'm more of the like talent, like I go out and find people and kind of bring people to the company.
yeah,
He has his tried and tested ways that he does, and then I'm just going out and just talking to people, networking, and
yeah.
kind of bringing people our way. So he's doing a lot of that piece of it, and then I'm quietly kind of disrupting and breaking up his SE because we trigger each other. Like he kills me with the TE and just coming in and just blasting me and just telling me, like I didn't ask you. I didn't want to change my settings in my computer, the way I do my work. I didn't ask you for your input. I know it works, but it doesn't work for me. And then, he'll rib me and do the like we were talking about fantasy football the other day, and I lost. And I told him I lost and I was done. And he called me a loser. He's like, because you're a loser. And in my mind, I'm just thinking like bro, I can destroy you right now. Like if I hit you, because I know his little feminine FI and his little things that he holds on to in the office. He has like all these old trinkets, and he has this cardboard box that reminds him of the first owner that died. And it's like, bro, like I could destroy you with like just a couple of words, but I just choose to just because I know ops and I know what he's susceptible to. I'm like, let me just I'll let him have this. I'll let him make fun of me because it's like I know better. I'm not going to respond. So, but he has control and he does a good job, right? He does a good job. So he does a lot of the SI stuff. So I allow him to do what he does because it works. And slowly I'm breaking that up, and I'll take it over in time.
I like
Yeah.
how he's using all this like trinkets and stuff to overcompensate for his small FI syndrome, tiny FI syndrome.
It's stuff from like the 90s, man. And it's like, yo, we don't even do this anymore, but we do it just because it just makes him happy. It keeps him like calm because we try to shake it up. You got to shake it up in pieces. Like every year, me and and this other guy, I can't type. I don't know what his type. He's probably like a TE as well, or some kind of mopey TE. But we just break him. We break his SI up little by little. And every year, like we changed the phone systems this year, and he didn't want to do it. He's too cheap. He didn't want to buy it. But now once we have it, and the calls come directly to him, he's gonna love it, and it's gonna be his idea. He talks to the clients like it was his idea.
Oh, I see.
He did it. It's hard. It's terrible, man.
Oh, because he's number one, so he
Because
needs
he's
to.
a number one, bro.
Yeah,
He's a yeah, man. It's so funny, and like I can see. I don't know if you could, but I can kind of separate like a number one from DI. Like I know some people like, they're the same, but I can see he's clearly an EJ. He's clearly DE. Like whenever a person comes in, he's like, why this person yelling at me? And it's like, he wasn't yelling at you, man. He just was having a regular conversation. But because he's feminine FI, he feels like everybody's like yelling at him.
Right.
And then but then he's clearly number one. Like everything's a game. He has to be the best. He has to win. He has to have the biggest, the most clients. He has to have the biggest, right the biggest ticket. It's he's funny, man. It's comedy.
Man, EJ number one is so tricky. It's like like two opposites being the same person, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's fascinating to watch though. Like and I think I typed them pretty accurately, but it's just I learned a lot about OP EJs by watching him. So because I don't really in the community, they're not EJs aren't as represented. ESTJs really are not as represented or not as like
Right. Yeah, we don't
visible.
have
So
many.
I've learned a lot from him, and then I kind of bring it back into the OP community. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. I believe you too when you say you narrowed him down to his type because you've been around, OPS for a long time now. So, you know,
yeah. I thought he was an ISTJ, but I saw the EJisms come out over time. Um,
like he's weird with
and yeah,
people.
oh, he's super weird with people.
Yeah.
He's super weird. Like everything's a fight. We call him and the other guy, they're the oldest, they're the two senior partners, you can say. We call them mom and dad, and they
Yeah.
fight. They fight, and it's always something personal. Like we clean the office today. He didn't want to clean the other guy's office because he wasn't there today. And everything is just personal and the biggest deal. And he's like talking about this guy while he's not here. And me and the other guy looking at each other like rolling our eyes, like, come on, man. Like it's not that serious. It's not that deep.
Yeah, man. Today, before we did this interview, I was hanging with a friend. Haven't seen him in a while. He's an ENTJ. And every time I hang out with him, there's always like a weird vibe that I can't put my finger in it. And obviously now I know ops now. I'm like, oh, it's weird because he's weird with people, because he was introducing his girlfriend to me, right? And his girlfriend's
Mhm.
completely chill, normal. And when I talk to the girlfriend,
Mhm.
it's like completely fine. So I think the girlfriend's like a double decider. But then when I talk to him, there's like a weird feeling that I can't kind of like put into words. It's like a weird vibe
Mhm.
into it. And
Yeah,
I'm feeling awkward, but
yeah,
and then I just said, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not the one awkward, and neither is the girlfriend. It's my friend that's awkward because he's an EJ,
right,
and it's
right.
weird. Yeah,
And you know what's crazy is like the things because and then this helped me confirm double observer because there's certain so let's just say I forget to put something on a return or something like that and I'm thinking it's like the end of the world and he's just so calm and just like
right.
oh just just do this and it's just like the way he freaks out versus how I freak out is like it's like totally different. He'll freak out, somebody calls and they ask for a person and he's like, what do you want me to do? Yelling at the person, and it's like they don't want you to do anything. Just take a message, right? But if a printer breaks or if something check thing jams up, he's just like he's cool. So it is very interesting, man.
Yeah, so it's definitely so weird. I work in the gym too, so there's a guy that works there who I went to college with him, and he recently got hired by the same facility I work at, and I was like, oh, I
Hmm.
haven't seen this guy in 10 years, and we end up in the same place, kind of
Hmm.
crazy. And then I remember he was doing squats in the gym, and then
Hmm.
some girl comes up to him and asks him, it's like, "Oh, how many more sets do you have left?" Because she wants to use it, right? So he's like, "Okay, you can use it now," because he's like an IP, scared of people, right? And
Right.
then like he comes up to me, right, and like starts whispering. He's like, "That girl asked me if she can use the squat rack 15 minutes ago. She's still not using it." He's like, "What's up with this?" I'm like, "Why don't you just ask her if she's gonna use it or not? Because if you want to go back, then just tell her you want to go back." I'm like, "What? Why don't you just talk to her? What's the big deal?" And he's
Yeah.
like, "No, no." I'm like, "Oh my God, so weird." Like,
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Leon brought up he made a topic yesterday about going in the gym and just asking people to be friends and see how many number fours he can catch.
yeah.
Right. And I say I said the gym is actually a good place to do social typing, right? Do you see that a lot? Like can you identify the different social types in the
Yeah,
gym?
hundred
What would you
percent.
say or how would you identify them?
If they're dude, they're probably if they're number one, they're probably rip already, and they usually have like
Right,
I can see the flex. They have earrings, cool hairstyle.
right,
Their girl, they're usually wearing barely anything.
right.
And they're doing like workout for aesthetics and stuff.
Yeah,
Or the
yeah.
heaviest, right? And then number four,
Uh-huh.
they're not working, they're just chatting with people, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's like
Yeah,
the number twos who's like doing a little bit of both. They're like doing the work, but they'll also chat
yeah.
and they'll end up in the gym for like 4 hours because like they still want to get their workout in, but they
Still
also
gotta get the workout in.
but they still want to maintain a friendship also. So they
Yes, man.
yeah,
I was telling Leon, I was like, "There's FE, like, well, it was another guy. I think Eric. His name's Eric Jan. I think that's his name. But he was saying how I said it's creepy. I said you can't just walk up to somebody and just start small talk. It's just weird, guys or girls. Like you really gotta like if we work out the same time every day for like 6 months, and I come over and say something to you, it's okay because we've seen each other, even if we never acknowledge each other, right? So the longer you've like been in the same space together, the more okay it is for you to go and just say hi, like to start like a small talk.
right.
Or if you have an incident like I had a guy who I took a 10 pound plate off the machine. He came over, he's like, hey, I was using it, right? But I saw him like on the other side of the gym, so he must have been doing like some sets. And because we had that exchange, it's like that kind of moved the ball forward. So in some case, so we'll revisit again and we'll be friends. That's what I look at it. It's like in time I'll be friends with all these people that I see every
Right.
day. You
Right.
just gotta pace it out. But you can't just walk up to somebody and be like, yo, what's up? Or nice pecs or just some weird, like it's just
That's weird.
weird.
Yeah, that is
It
weird.
is weird. It's weird to have small talk
Yeah.
in the gym.
Well, you can't force it, it
Right.
has to be natural. So uh
Right.
but dude, man, I had a run in with a number one long time ago at a YMCA here in Canada. Like I was working out, I was using do you know what a Roman chair is? Like that thing where like you hold yourself up and you kind of do like leg races or knee races to work your lower abs.
Yeah.
Captain's chair.
Right.
So I was on it, and it's like this dude, it's like I think he's Indian, and he has like this like white chick with him, and then he's like he comes up to me, right, mean mugging and shit, and sorry, but like, um, so and he's pretty like big, and he goes like, "Hey kid, move," right? That's what he says to me, right?
Move.
Yeah, he's like, "Kid, move," and I'm like, "Say please." That's what I said to him, right?
Uh-huh.
He said, "I've been in jail." That's what he said to me, right? And I'm like, "What are you gonna do? You're gonna shank me?" That's what I said to him, right? And and then so we start fighting in the gym, right? Because like even though he's like a lot bigger than me, I don't back down. I have double masculine sleep, man. I don't back down, you know.
Right.
And then like some guy like breaks up our like yelling. He's like, "You want to take this outside?" That's what he said to me, right? And
So
and then
he was, oh my God. He was trying to press the girl, huh?
100%, he was just doing that BS because he's trying to look top in front of the girl. He's his number one.
Right.
Anyways, so after that fight, um, I would see him in the gym for like months because we work on the same place. We just don't talk to each other, right? And I don't know, like it was like 2 or 3 months later. One day, I looked at him, he looked at me, and I went, and he went, and we're good. and
Yeah,
and then
that's the process, man. That is the
and,
process. Yes.
and then it was like I was like, and I think him being a number one, like the fact I stood up to him, it's like, oh, there's like respect, right? Because number ones expect people
Hmm.
to like bow down to them. So this guy's like, no, I'm not gonna take your BS. So it's good. So I thought it was really funny, like, I don't know if I was a number four and he came up to me and he did that. I don't know like how that the interaction would be, right?
Yeah, 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 that'd be kind of interesting. But I think, like you say, you have that double masculine sleep, and it's like if you hit me and if you hit me in my double masculine, it's like I don't care what you say. You could beat me down,
Yeah,
right? But I ain't going. I'm not going to back down.
hundred
You know what
percent.
I mean? Because
I
that's
wasn't
that's
gonna back
that's
up.
that's disrespectful. No, I feel you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
dude, so here's the thing that we both have in common. So we're both number twos, right? And we both have flex third, right? And because sleep activates flex, we both have double masculine flex as a result.
right.
So when our flex kicks in, right, it's really strong, right? And it's it's
It's
it's not
bad.
it's not missing, right? Uh,
Right.
so you were telling me about you becoming a partner, and there was like a lot of flex in that when you were like saying that, right? You know,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
and even in the future when you're saying that you're just kind of putting up with your ESTJ partner, in the future you say you're gonna take over things, right? So there's like a lot of like, like number one um energy that's coming out of that double masculine sleep of yours.
Yeah. I
Um,
never looked at it like that, but yes,
yeah,
indeed. It's like a quiet flex. It's like a thing of the way I see it is sometimes it's like you gotta like even so I'm gonna use some SF stuff, right? So it's like certain clothes I wear, certain things I do. It's like it's not the wham right in the face. You're not gonna see a name, Louis Vuitton or something like that on it. You're gonna have to look at it and maybe see like just a stitch or a certain design, and it's gonna let you know that it's a certain color, right? So it's more of a quiet flex than it is just something in your face. I want you to know right now. It's like, no, I want you to see me, pay attention to me, and then you're gonna see the flex, and see it's more like a refined quality. It's like a
Right.
refined, yeah. So
Right.
yeah,
I think Dave refers to it as a chill flex. Like the
yeah,
number twos have a chill flex. Like they'll flex, but they won't go too much into it that it becomes
right.
cringe, you know?
It becomes cringe,
Yeah.
man. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. There's like
If
a
if
sweet
you
spot.
know, you know.
Yeah, there's a sweet spot. And they see that the number two is
Yeah,
not the sweet spot, you know? Um,
right.
yeah, and even the way you did it too is like NI, is like the future in TI, you know, like I'm gonna be
Yeah.
the boss, you know, like, it's like, but then you dropped it and then you left, when you said it earlier.
It'll manifest, man. And that's the thing with it's like because they was on a video yesterday. He was talking about or I think it was with Arsenio Hall, or somebody was like a number four, and it's like you get replaced or something just happens, and all of a sudden, you kind of walk away like, okay, like I don't have anything to lose, and I don't have anything to gain out of this. And for me, it's like I'm not going to invest too heavily up front. I'm kind of laying a foundation. So the longer that I'm kind of invested in something, I think the harder it is uh to kind of like pull me out of it, or if I am kind of pulled away from it, I do feel some type of way. But up front, I don't have as much of a investment or interest of myself into it. I'm doing this for now, and I may move on to something else tomorrow. I may do it for in a longer 5 years or whatever. But the longer I stay, then the more of myself kind of gets pulled into it.
Right.
Is that a similar feeling for you?
Yeah, I mean, I have the personality stuff, right?
Yeah,
Um, so I do feel that. I've been doing it
mhm.
for a long time now. I'm like super established as like the interviewer guy. So, um, so like,
Yeah,
yeah, now it's my main thing now. Before, the personality stuff wasn't my main YouTube channel. It was my travel stuff. And then
right.
I switch now. Now my travel one, sorry, it's just a hobby one. And this one's like my
Yeah,
actual gig, right? So, um, yeah,
I
so
think, and yes, and I think I kind of see that with OP as well in a similar way. Like I'm not necessarily like I help out. I don't do Clubhouse anymore. That's kind of helped me where I figure out number two was like looking at everything I was doing within OP.
yeah,
But it's like I've kind of become more like a senior like consultant now, not
yeah,
necessarily like in the mix anymore. I've kind of risen above that, so I'm here, and I'm just the old head, and I'm just kind of consulting and helping people out. But I'm invested now. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And if some young punk comes in and they want to start some trouble, it's like I don't gotta say much. I ain't gotta say much, and you gone.
That's so good. I love it. Yeah, you know what? It is true what you said though. There are people in the community that are like seen as like the OGs, and they kind of hold those seats, right? And
Right?
their words have more weight, um, just because they've been around for so long, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it is true that I do see you in that line for sure. You know.
And if I'm honest with myself, what pulled me into OP was the community. It was like I did MBTI, and at first I was like, I don't know where Dave fell and hit his head. Like when he started talking about animals and all this other stuff. Initially, that was my initial thought, like, yo, he done lost it, right? But I'm like, okay, the community the community's cool. And then once I really started paying attention to the actual like content, I'm like, oh, this is dope. Like I can get into this, and that's what got me into the theory. Otherwise, the people is what kind of helped me there first.
Right. Yeah. Dude, 100%, man. When you see people get triggered and stuff, and like that's how you type someone, I'm like, you can't, and the fact that you can't control it, you know, like you
Oh
cannot
my,
control it. Like your NI, when you get
yeah,
triggered, you can't control it, man. When my SI get triggered,
yeah.
even if I know that this is what's happening,
Oh my
I
goodness.
can't stop it. Like I'm like, I know why I'm triggered right now, and I can't stop it. I'm still triggered, you know?
But do you feel it like when somebody hits it? Like I know sometimes if somebody hits my I start seeing like my vision gets cloudy, and it's like I gotta like either walk away, or
Yeah.
it's like I just it's just gonna, I'm just gonna explode. It's just a matter of time. Like, so does that happen to you too? Like you start see like how do you know when you're triggered? Do you feel it coming?
I know exactly when I'm triggered and I lose control when it happens, but I'm aware it's happening. And I'm
Hmm.
losing control while I'm being aware that it's happening. And
Okay.
it's so annoying and I just don't have to write it out.
But as a FI, it feels good though, right?
It's yeah, it's the FISI. So like the SI gets and then it triggers the FI, right? And then like I get
Uh-huh.
and the FI reacts to it by being like really like angry or frustrated
Yeah.
or overwhelmed or
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. But
Hmm.
it's because it's always about the SI. Like, yeah, I'll get annoyed about people, but it's not like I'll get over it. Because like, if I get annoyed by someone, let's say because I'm DE like you, right? So
Right.
like someone's being selfish, for example, and I'm getting
Hmm.
annoyed that they're being selfish or
Hmm.
um then I'll just go back to myself, think, have I acted in a selfish way before? And the answer is always yes. Then I just cut them some slack because I know it's like, okay, I've done it before. Maybe they're going a little bit too much, so I can like, hit back a little bit for that little bit too much, but not
Hmm.
so much that because I know I've also done it myself. Like everyone's selfish at the end of the day, right? So it's not like you've never done it.
So are you, but let me ask you this, are you triggered by number threes? Because I know for me, it's like when I do like working in the tax office and working with taxes, I
Yeah,
understand how the tax code works. And when Trump changed the tax laws in 2018, he made it he made it more of a one and two tax system where
yeah.
it used to be more three and four. And it's like, a lot of the things he took away, you can do it if you just open up a small business. You don't have, it doesn't have to operate like this full fledged business. You just need something to scale. And there's people who they just want to complain, right? And I'm like, well, all you have to do is this. And they're like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want, I want what's mine. And that burns me up. Like that, I can't empathize with you. I can't help you. It's like, well, if that's what you want, then all right, well, then I really can't help you. And this is what it is. This is what's gonna be. I
Dude,
shut down. It's like I don't even want to help you anymore.
dude, I get so triggered by complaint machine number threes. I cannot stand it, man. I cannot,
Yeah,
F word stand it. I just can't stand it, man. Oh my
right,
God. Like my sister is a number three, EJ, and she's a victim for everything. And she just wants to do her little narrow down thing. And she's complaining
right,
about everything else in her life because she let everything fall apart because she's just doing this one.
right,
And I'm like, if you just took responsibility for your life, for everything that's happening to you, and the fact that if you just accept that no one's coming to save you, you need to save yourself. Okay, no one's gonna let you just do this one thing and support you for the rest of the
uh-huh.
stuff. You know, your life is gonna be good. Like this problem is not a problem. That's not the way I see it. I go to work. Like I work for a fitness center too, right? Besides my YouTube
Yeah,
channel, like my other scams. So like it's funny actually when Dave gave me my social type, he's like, Kendrick, you're a savior scam. That's what he said to me. But anyways, like there's this dude in my workplace. He's an ESTJ jumper, I think, like PENE. Um, and like he's always complaining about unfairness. Like, okay, we need to get unionized, and we need to, make sure that it's fair, that we're getting treated fairly, we're getting compensated, all this stuff, right? And he's just every time I see him, he's complaining about something, and I'm just like, and I told him, dude, if you don't like this, why don't you quit and do something else? You know, like no one's telling you to stay here. And then he just can't wrap himself around the idea of like you could take responsibility for your life and pave your own
right,
path into something. He just can't like wrap himself around the idea. He's like,
right.
it's injustice, and it's not
Yeah, and I think for like the number fours, it's at least they have that friends piece first, so they're not as bad. And I think I can be just a little more empathetic because they don't have they have at least a friends piece of it that kind of softens it.
sure.
But it's something about the specialization and flex at the top
Yeah,
together because I guess they're my demons, and it's
yeah.
just like it's triggering, man. It's tough.
Also, dude, the number fours, they're not missing responsibility. It's third, it's activated. So if you
That's true.
if
That's
you
true.
yeah, so if you explain to them like
Yeah.
how important it is to take responsibility for your life, they will clue in and they'll be like, yeah, you're right. I mean, they won't like it. It's their demon, but they'll be like,
Hmm.
yeah, okay. It's kind of us with like number like the flex. It's like, yeah, she'd have probably more drive to do this. It's like,
Yeah.
so um so yeah, that it makes sense why we would get triggered by those guys.
And that, I gotta think about that too with my double match with EJ. business partner. It's probably that too. It's probably just that me being not flex. I'm probably annoying him in some respect too with the way I deal with clients. But there's another. We got a young guy that's a flexer, and they clash, but they're punching each other. And I just don't play that game with him. So he loves him, but then he looks at me and just like, oh, that's Ian over there. We're like at the end of the day, it's like we're cool, but I can tell he kind of like he's ranking, right? And I'm one of the lower ranks in the office,
Yeah.
which
Well,
doesn't bother me because it's his perception, and that's. So it's not, I'm not, but
I want to talk to you about two things that Dave said before in his videos about number twos. So the first one is the older the number two gets, the more the flex kicks in. And eventually they get fed up with people and they're like, you know what? It's kind of like Thanos, it's like, fine, I'll do it myself, like that kind of deal, right? Like all his like
right,
henchmen screwed up to get like the Infinity Stone. So he's like, I'm gonna get it myself. So like the number twos become number ones essentially when they get older. And then the subtle difference between the two and fours. So when I got my number two typing back, Dave said to me, because my type is play, blast, consume, sleep, which is a straight flush four. That's why they thought I was four initially. But then when
Mhm.
they actually look at my stuff, they're like, wait a minute, there's all this scam thing that you're doing, right? So they said that, Kendrick, you are literally sneaking away from the tribe to do work. You are a crackhead that can't stay away from the tribe, but you're finding a way to sneak away from them to do work, which I am. Like I'm doing work all the time. Um, so it's like the number twos have work before friends. And
Mhm.
that small difference is a big difference because the work always comes before the friendship, which is crazy, right? So can you share a little bit about that like mindset in your
So, bro, I've kind of like the pandemic made it really clear. So, I think yeah. So it's like a lot of my friends. I didn't talk to them at all during the pandemic, right? Every now and then I would text somebody, but it was like just I was really into OP during the pandemic. I had some other responsibilities come up within my congregation, just working on that. So that came into play as well. So I was doing that. That was work. Then OP was work because I was doing like Clubhouse and all this other stuff. And then I got promoted. Became a partner. So all my friends were pushed to the side, and it wasn't until the pandemic ended and we started like meeting again, and they had to call me, right? And they was like, "Where you been, man? We miss you." Everybody's like, "We miss you," and where you been? And it really made me think, like, wow, it's like if you're not in like my immediate train of like work, like if you're not my best friends, the ones I spend the most time with are the people I actually do. We have work and we have social stuff in common. Like to me, that's perfect. If we're doing both,
yeah,
then we'll be best of friends. Like my wife's going, me and my wife, my future wife, whoever she is, we're going to be working together, and we're going to be seeing each other. So it's like that piece of it, I really do see. Like when Shan was explaining it at first, I'm like, nah. But then it's like, yeah, it's like I really like it. I will like my parents' wedding anniversary is February 11th, right? So we try to do their anniversary on the day it happens. And it's like, if I gotta work, I'm not going to their anniversary celebration. You know what I mean? If I have something to do, I can't make this graduation. I can't, I'm not gonna be able to make there was a funeral today and it was like, I got something to do. Right?
you should be like, I'll pray for you in my office.
Man, like, all right, they're not gonna know I'm not there. Right. So it's like it does. Like you tend to like prioritize the work. And if you can work, if the friends can kind of work themselves in there, but it's tough unless there's like something, unless it's something has to come from God to really shut it down
Right.
for me. Yeah. So same with you.
I prioritize work above friends, but not to my the way I do it is a little bit different from yours. The way I see mine is because I am double activated with the tribe. You're single activated only because you're blast
Hmm.
last, right?
Hmm.
So I do get pulled in by the tribe, and I feel guilty when the tribe wants something from me, and I am not
Mm.
responding. I'm not responding to the call.
Mm-mm.
Um, but over the years, I've been developing a system to make it better. So I only see my friends once a week now. Like, and I do it
Okay.
literally like on a Friday night after work. That's it. Like I blocked it off. This is for friends, just enough to maintain a relationship so that we, because friendship's still important to me as a number two, right?
Mhm.
But like not to the point where it gets away in the gets in the way of work. Um, so I love the pandemic too because like I was just working all the time and I didn't have to feel obligated to hang out with my friends, even though I love my friends. I didn't feel obligated to
Mhm.
hang with them because I wanted to get ahead in my
Yeah.
life, right? And then next
Mhm.
year I'm actually traveling for 1 year to live outside Canada to be a digital nomad, and I'm just gonna work 1 year away from everyone. The way I am separating myself from the tribe is going outside the country so that they can't physically get in touch with me, and then I can
Yeah.
focus on work. Like it's because I know if I'm around people in my hometown, I'm gonna get pulled in because I'm double activated play, you know.
Right. Yeah. And you know what? Now that you say that and thinking about what Dave and Shan, like when she was explaining the number twos, that I don't have that big of a pull because my FE's single activated. It's a double decider. It's a jump, like it's the least amount of FE you can have in a savior anyway.
Right.
So a lot of times that doesn't even register. It's like I can't, especially if I double or triple book something, which happens all the time. Like three things will happen on a weekend, and I said I will commit to all three of them, and it's like I'll just have to cut two. And the hardest part about it is the blast piece of it because sometimes I know it's a conflict, but I won't say anything until like the last minute, like when I canceled on you,
That's
right? It's like
careful,
I
man.
knew.
What do you give me a heads up? What the hell's wrong with you? You know?
No, man, no. It's like I knew that I had to, and it's like, bro, it's like I'll get to it. I get around to it. I get around to it, and then it's like, well, let me say something right now. I'm on my way. It'll be 15 minutes late. I knew I was gonna be 15 minutes late. I gotta send it to you like 6 hours ago. You know what I mean? So it's yeah, I see that piece of it. So I'm gonna go back and listen to I'm gonna listen to it again after this conversation because every time I go back and listen, every time I listen to that like Shan's explanation, I always go back and say, okay, I have a better like a refined understanding of who she's looking at. She's kind of probably looking at like this prototype, and it's like where do you either you are cranked up more or not as cranked up with whatever she's spelling out. You just got to
Right.
know your type and your specifics in align with whatever that NI, whatever they're saying.
Yeah, dude. I remember back in 2016, I went on a 1 year backpacking trip, but I was also working as a digital nomad for I was doing travel blogging and stuff. And like
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was living in Thailand for a month and I had a routine, man. Like I would get up, eat my food, go to the gym, and then go work for like 8 hours on my blog and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
like when I left Thailand after a month, I felt so sad because I was like, man, that was like perfect. I was just working all the time. It was so good. Which is kind of
Yeah,
weird. But it's like when you talk to number four, it's like, why would you be want to be working all the time? I'm like, I like working. It doesn't,
I love working, man.
yeah,
I
it's
love what I do.
I mean like
I love
it's
what I do.
I mean I also like to consume. Don't get me wrong. I like consuming too.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
But I'm like I like working. So I'm like, why are you trying to tell me that like I'm like doing too much of this? Like I hang out with a buddy a few days ago and he's like, telling him like what I'm doing on my YouTube channel because I'm gonna start making those explainer videos again. But they take so long to make those explainer videos. They're so time consuming, right? Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna publish one
Right.
tomorrow and the day after. I'm not gonna publish our video till later. So what I mean by that is December 30th and 31st. So
Mm-hmm.
like each of those videos took me like 20 plus hours each, right? Like just editing and stuff. So but like I do feel the satisfaction of putting good work in, like into something, like really going all in. So I don't, and my friend, he thinks that like that's like a waste of time, even though he has TI, because I think he's a number four. So he was just like hang out with his wife and stuff, you know.
So the I enjoyed the work piece of it, and I was telling people for me it's like a sense of control, but it kind of also in a sense I kind of it's independence as well
Right.
because
Get that.
having the ability to do things my way enables me to work the way I want to work. And for me, I remember what made me not want to work at a job anymore was because like, listen, I kind of know my energy levels, my rhythm. And between like 10 and 2 o'clock, 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., I'm worthless. Like I can't focus. Like I would rather if I could go to the gym and run errands and do all that other stuff between 10 and 2. If I come back to work after 2 o'clock, I can focus and I can work to like 8 o'clock, like if I had to, right?
Yeah.
8 p.m. that 6 hour stretch, and first thing in the morning. But office hours demands that you're there during that time. And I'm like, can I do this schedule or at least come in a little bit, maybe a little bit earlier, or just, some type of alternate schedule, and they wouldn't let me do it. And I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. That was where I began to like break. And even now, uh, if it wasn't for the fact that there's people coming to my desk like during my busy season, like that's what makes the day go by. Like it's just that there's people at there's people at my desk, and that kind of makes it go by. But I just like having that control and doing things when I want to do them, knowing that they're going to get done, and I don't want to rely on people for that.
Oh, that sounds very TI, like the way you explain that, like that's
Yeah,
the way you structure things and the way how it
right,
works for you. I do agree with what you said though, because like for me personally, like there are certain times in a day where I do feel more productive than others, you know.
right,
Like a few days ago, I was working till like 2 a.m. and I felt fine working, right? Uh,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but I'm sleep lost also, so it's
yeah.
but
Demon. I once I get into that mode, it's like I'm okay, but I try to get up. I would rather get up early than stay up late. Because I'm just better that way. But sometimes if I'm in the middle of something and I'll work till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't do that.
um, one thing I noticed, I don't know if this happens to you or not, but like if maybe it's just me because I'm a sleep last, but like the more well rested I am, even if I sleep in the next day, I can get more work done the next day if I'm like really well rested. It's almost better to
Bro,
like lay in bed and do nothing for like a few hours, and then the rest of the
dude,
day would just be more productive than like if I force myself to get up at a certain time just to be like more structured. It doesn't work, in terms of like productivity.
I, I love that feeling, man. I learned actually this is a lesson I learned. This might be demon sleep or whatever, but like over Thanksgiving, like I didn't do anything Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I woke up. When I woke up on Saturday, I felt like so rested. I could get up and I could work.
Yeah,
Like housework, I can't. It's hard to do housework. It's hard to like. I just want to lay around. But once I got my rest, bro, I was like, I could do whatever you needed me to do. And then it was like, okay, Ian, that means you got to take some time and just like you said, like just lay around for 4 hours and don't feel bad because you're not doing anything.
right,
Don't grab your phone, don't grab your iPad and start sending an email or just clicking. Just it's like no, don't even do OP typing, man. Don't even type. Just sit there, consume, lay around, chill, and eventually I just automatically pop up and
right.
I'm ready to go. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, I saw a video with Jeff Bezos actually, and he said that he does the exact same thing. He said that, like I don't know if you saw that interview with him and that ENTP guy. Um, what's his name again? The ENTP guy. I always forget his name. The interviewer.
Who the play last dude
Is he playing last? What's his name? The
Lex Freeman.
Yeah, that dude. Yeah, I don't remember people's names,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah. So like Jeff Bezos said in the morning, like he like kind of meanders for like the first 3 hours, just like
hmm
before he actually gets to work, because he said he works better that way. So I think there is
right.
a madness to like taking your time in the morning before you get to work.
I'm working. I'm gonna try to do that for this tax season. Like I really want to get up. But I hate getting up when it's so dark. I hate getting up at like 5 in the morning and it's pitch black outside.
Yeah,
It's like I'd rather be in bed at that time. So it's either get up, like go to bed later and just get up later. But I'm really work. That would be my sweet spot if I could do that throughout the wintertime. But just what makes it hard is that the way my job works, the way work works, I have to be to work by 9 o'clock during this time. So it's not perfect, but I'm finding more different ways to work with it. There's times when I'm more likely to be able to do like the OI of narrowing down, doing the blast, and the better I am in, the better I kind of match the work I need to do with those energy states, like the better my outcomes are going to be.
dude, I'm just like watching us talking about the work right now, and I'm just picturing what people are watching, who's gonna be watching this, are thinking like,
It's they're not going to get past the first 20 minutes.
no, they're like, who are these freaks who are like so obsessed with working? Like
Yeah,
how can you love working so much, And
yeah.
it's like, I was like, I'm like, for me, I'm like, oh, this Ian guy gets it, right? But then like if you're not a one or two, I guess it's hard to, or
And
three.
and that's why I look at the social type, like I look at the friend. It's either friends or it's work, right? Because friends and flexes, They're the more people side of the thing. And then you got the responsibility. What do they call it? They don't even call it responsibility anymore. What do they call it?
Generalist.
Generalist, right? Generalist versus specialized. And it's like if that's your top animal, that's what you're all about,
Right.
right? So it's yeah. So there's this work piece of it that a person who's probably higher, who's like friends or even the flex people. But I think the flex people, no, the flex people have work. They have a work piece of it too. They got a work piece of it for with it too.
Right.
Um,
Number ones for sure.
but yeah, but it's yeah, it's there's going to be you might well say 50% of the people going to probably enjoy us talking and be like, I feel that too, I feel that too, and then 50% of the people will hate this video.
No, I think the biggest difference between the ones and twos is like the ones have fake friends, where like the friendship is a stepping stone to get to a higher ground, while like number twos actually have genuine friendships. You know, no offense to number ones, but I mean they told me already when I interviewed them. That's pretty much how they said it. It's and it's cool. It's not a big deal. You know, it is what it is. I appreciate the honesty actually, if anything.
Listen, I love everybody. I don't have no problem with everybody. Like, so y'all know this is all in jest, and we're kind of talking. We're kind of talking. You know, we're just straight up. We're just straight shooting.
Ian
So
hates
it,
threes.
you
Just
know,
kidding.
it's yeah. I was just you're saying that I'm like, man, should we have disclaimed that three conversation? No, it's like it's not hate in the decider getting. It's just listen, man. It's like sometimes it's just hard to be able to relate because it's like no, there's a way to do it. There's a way out of it. There's a way around this. Like you don't have to be stuck. Like take ownership of it and do something with it. But you ain't got to sit there and just kind of curl up in a ball and just let life happen to you.
Right.
You know. So I don't hate. I love you threes. I love you. I love you. Yeah.
Turn the camera because I hate those mofos. Just kidding. Okay, dude, we'll wrap up the interview part here because I think my friend might be coming soon. But so we'll wrap it up here. So Ian, thanks again for sharing. I'll talk to you after the stop recording. But
Yeah.
thanks for updating us on your journey with that NF Blast Last and sharing more about your number
This
two.
was good, man. This
Yeah.
was good. All right, y'all.
All right. Peace
Later.
out.